welcome to Let Jamie Talk. I'm Jamie in the studio with Ben and Brett today.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
I say that a lot. You know, I say the same thing like every time.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot, like once a week.
Yeah, well, they say that consistency is the key to success.
That's true. We always say good morning too, and you're like, we shouldn't say that.
We shouldn't.
It may not be morning.
No,
It's definitely not morning when people listen to it.
there's no telling. Hey,
Maybe. Well, I do post it at 5. So
I hope it doesn't bother you, Ben, but sometimes I pull my shoulders back a little bit and kind of puff my chest out.
I've read that in the comments.
It doesn't bother you, does it?
No.
It helps me to not
just
be a slouch.
yeah. It just makes me feel self-conscious.
Okay, you can do it too. Try it. Go ahead.
No, I can't.
No, you kind of pull your shoulders back.
Okay.
There you go. Now again, you got to get close to the mic still.
Oh yeah. You wanted me to angle the mic up more.
Yeah, you got to be on axis.
on axis.
On
You
axis.
don't look very comfortable.
I'm not.
On
I'm
axis.
not comfortable.
Yeah.
I can hear it in my voice.
I tend to be a slouch like in my posture.
Mm-hmm.
So if I know I'm going to sit here for like an hour or 3,
3? We've never sat here for 3.
you never know.
Oh,
It's like a time warp sometimes. You can't tell how long.
Not without taking a break.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Maybe I need to angle my mic up so I don't have to bend my
there's
neck,
no time clock in here.
bend my neck down. It's been a while since I've been to the chiropractor.
I've never been.
So have you not?
No.
All right. Brett's never been to the chiropractor. Well,
Ben?
okay.
Ben, have you ever been?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-mm.
You guys living under a rock?
What says the guy that doesn't know how to use a computer?
That's a good point. I'll take that one.
Yes.
Touche, whatever that means. Well, Let Jamie Talk
Uh-huh.
is a podcast about lots of things, but construction is kind of our beginning basis of why we started the podcast, to sort of branch off from Perkins Builder Brothers and build on and build to and all kinds of things related to construction, but we also talk about lots of random things. So that's why I said that, to say that I actually really like going to the chiropractor. I'm going to hang up right here on this for a second because like the only time I ever really tweaked my back, like to where I couldn't even roll over in bed. Have you ever tweaked your back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Doing something heavy lifting or something,
Sure.
or
Once a week.
picking up a cup of coffee and you tweak your back.
Yeah. Or nothing. Yeah. Doing nothing.
And it feels like when you move and it feels like somebody's stabbing a knife in your spine.
Uh-huh.
Lower back for me. Like you can't put on your socks.
Is this an infomercial?
No, I got nothing to sell. I wish I did. But the only times that I've really tweaked my back, I went to the chiropractor like the next day or 2 days as soon as I could get in, and they like cracked me and I was like all better. Like immediately. Like I walked out better and it was gone.
And you were hooked.
Until the next tweak, whenever. But I'm pretty good at not doing that now because I have such good posture.
There it is.
See?
Bringing it back around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have like a fear of chiropractors that they're going to break something and I'll walk out of there tweaked.
Well, there is that factor of,
Yeah. I've made it 51 years without getting one. Not to say that I don't need one, but I don't know if I'm ready to try one.
Well, what you should start doing is watching Facebook videos of chiropractors because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of Facebook videos.
Really?
Oh yeah. Dude, you don't know this?
Who watches Facebook videos?
Dude, listen. I'm gonna have a little confession.
Okay.
My number one source of screen entertainment.
Don't say it.
My number one source of screen entertainment. Are you ready for this? Is not TV. We don't have satellite TV. We got some kind of internet TV. I don't watch it. I don't have time to sit and watch TV on a TV. The TV is stationary.
Yeah.
And I'm dragging it out to build suspense. It's a technique that I use. Okay. So my phone, like many other people, is that is convenient because you can take it everywhere, of course. But it's Facebook videos. I watch Facebook videos.
Interesting.
Are you still my friends?
Yeah.
It depends on the topic of the Facebook videos.
I mean-
No,
well,
I'm
you'll just
kidding.
have to check my feed. My feed is tailored to my interests.
That's interesting. I actually have Facebook like blocked. Like
You do?
where you can't pull it up on my phone.
I would bet that
Really?
mine is 90% Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
How about that? Let's see, Ben.
Which is a problem. What are you going to do, pull up your phone?
Oh, no, I was adjusting Ben's mic there because I'm the
I guess for Marketplace
mixer
is
guy.
about the only time I've used it, but I try to keep it just off my phone. It's just like,
right.
don't need it.
Now, why is it? So it doesn't waste your time?
Yeah, and it's just useless information on there. Like there's no productivity created in my life from looking at Facebook.
Well, productivity. Now, I didn't say I get my highest amount of productivity from Facebook. I do get some entertainment, though.
Well, I'm not saying you have to. You get the entertainment, and I don't find it necessarily entertaining because most of the stuff on there is just like made up crap anyway. So,
well, due to the
is.
system, I don't know the inner workings of the system.
Okay.
But a lot of it is ad driven or product pushing driven. People that post a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we make videos and we make ads.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, your brand is authenticity, so I could see how you're drawn to the opposite of that. So
you also probably are only doing it when you're like just trying to chill, like literally unwind.
It is exactly that. And that's why I watch Facebook videos and YouTube videos, but really for pure entertainment and relaxation, leading towards me going to sleep is, the Facebook thing does it for me.
Yeah.
And then I'm out.
There's plenty of studies about how that blue light is not good for your sleep.
Yeah, that's like the worst time to be doing it, but that's all right.
It's working great for me. I don't know.
That sounds good.
I don't know. I mean, I
don't
believe
open
you.
TikTok because then you'll just be lost.
Oh, I don't do TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I don't do TikTok. Somebody sends me a TikTok. I try to open it. It says, you got to get the app. I say no every time.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm a Zuckerberg fan.
I guess.
Get out of here.
I only have TikTok.
Whatever that is.
Let Jamie talk.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a good enough reason.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But I can't watch them unless you just send me the edit and I'll watch it. And then we'll just know that it went out on the TikToks and then we're good.
That was the shameless plug for Let Jamie Talk TikTok.
That was, I went from infomercial to social media tangent. I like it.
It's all relevant.
Yeah, it started with chiropractors. Wow. That's weird. I really think back, we started at chiropractors.
Let me say what I've been saying to my buddy Mike that I go to the gym with. And, he's like me. He's a little older than me, but we kind of, I don't know. We're not super old, but we're at the age where you can get hurt a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it can affect you pretty severely. Like I got my calf muscle, like when I was running, it kind of like locked up, And so I had to stop running. I had to like hobble home. Did I tell you that the other week? I think I did.
You told me.
Yeah.
I told somebody.
Because I've had the same thing happen.
Yeah. Me and Brett tried to start running.
Were you at Deep Creek?
Yeah. No, I was at the track.
Oh, okay.
But I run from my house to the track. Oh. And then I run at the track and I run up the hill behind the stadium seating. It's a pretty good little hill. Mm-hmm. And then I'll do that, like 4 times. Then I'll run home. It's all downhill home.
Right.
Except for the last,
quarter mile.
Yeah. Then it's really steep up. Mm-hmm. I think I've nearly died running up that.
I could see that.
When it's hot. I mean, seriously, to myself, I think I better stop running and walk and cool down because my heart's beating so fast. I'm like, this is not good. This is not safe.
Yeah. That's like when people try to go to the beach and run. Like, I'm just like, how you run at the beach?
Yeah, in the sand, in the heat?
No, not even that. Just the humidity.
The humidity.
It's like you walk outside. I'm like, how people running this?
Yeah, that's bad.
All right, bring us back to Mike.
Oh yeah, well, my buddy Mike, he's had a few little injuries over the couple of years that we've been hanging out, and so anyway, we're like going to physical therapy. We're like, he's going to the doctor today because he's got maybe a torn something in his shoulder. He's going to get that checked out. But he didn't do anything extreme to get hurt. That's what I'm saying is that, we're not like 20 anymore. Mm-hmm. Well, you can get hurt when you're 22. So who knows?
I mean, Mike's at least 10 years older than you, though. I think he's a little older than me.
Yeah.
But he's also in really good shape.
Well, I wish that my physical therapist had also a chiropractor in the same office and a massage person.
Some of them
in the same. I wish it was all in house and I could go like get my physical therapy, get my back cracked, and then get a massage.
Wow.
Well, we know the owner So we could just say, can we get like a subscription-based services menu? That'd be amazing.
It would be good. It is nice to be friends with the owner. And actually, her name is Robin Duncan. She did the physical therapy for my hand when I cut my fingers. So I love her, and she's been excellent to me and my family, actually, for other things. Okay, so hey, let's talk about construction. I can.
Well, you got to stay in shape to be in the construction world.
What a transition.
It's all relative.
Okay, let's talk about goals real quick.
Whoa,
you have no idea what I'm going to say,
nope.
But that's okay. That's the way I like to roll. Is when I started going to the gym when I was 40, 2 years ago, because my daughter, who was 5, she was 4. I realized, man, it's getting hard to pick her up and turn her sideways and set her in her car seat. And I was like, she's getting heavier. I'm not getting any stronger. And this is going to continue in this direction. So that's why I started going to the gym, for just like useful, being strong enough to do normal stuff. And also for in construction, it's a very physically demanding job. You're at least walking around all day.
Yeah.
And carrying things and lifting things and climbing up a ladder and scaffold and things like that. So you do have to be physically fit enough to do it and to not hurt yourself. And when you're picking up stuff, here's something else I like, is that you're picking up sometimes heavy stuff, sometimes too heavy. And you need to know what is too heavy. Like, I should not do this. We need to find a different method. Or do you just grunt it out and just pick it up and hurt yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So I think actually going to the gym some and picking up some weights has helped me to know what is my sustainable weight that I can pick up repetitively, safely, with a posture that doesn't send me to the chiropractor once a week. And so I think that's been really helpful to get an idea of what I'm capable of.
Your limits.
Within reason.
Limits,
yeah, no, definitely. That is
your baseline.
Yeah, sure. So I don't have any numbers attached to these, limits, but my posture is what really keeps me good.
There you go. Now you've tied it back in.
We're all, so
that's it. Well, we are here this morning to talk about construction. My access is off.
Get on access. Yeah, there you go.
But we were actually here this morning waiting on someone to show up and join us.
That's right, Max. Hey, Max.
Are we calling for my dog or we're calling for Max?
I'm sorry, I don't want to make.
My dog's name is actually Max. Not Max.
Okay, Brett's dog. His name's Max.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to make Max feel bad for not showing up this morning.
I mean, a little bit.
But it wouldn't hurt if we bring it up.
I did do a bunch of prep, trying to get ready for Max being here this morning.
Right. So
I brought him extra swag this week just to, sugar him up.
You did?
Nothing.
Well, to some of our viewers, we did you put out a little questionnaire or a little?
I did. There's plenty of time now on Patreon to ask questions to Max.
Yeah. Or in this video. We could come up. We could have him sit down and have 1,000 questions.
There you go. So there's a little more time for us to hang out with Max in a later episode. And if you do have curiosity questions, hey, put them down in the comments.
Yeah.
And we'll have a lot to talk about.
We've got him scheduled for next week now.
That is great. I will say I'm looking forward to having Max on the show. Mm-hmm. For a lot of reasons. He's a great, outstanding guy. We've already had all the other crew members on the show that work for me, 4 or 5 guys, including Eric. And I know all those guys really well. Max is the one he's the new guy on the crew. And he's the one that I know the least because I've only, been around him for about a year. And so I think it's going to be fun. And also he is, he took a class, or he graduated from Western Carolina University with a degree in construction management. So he has been studying, I guess, construction.
Yeah.
And, with the idea of making some sort of management position in construction his career path, which, none of the other guys, including myself, have done that. So I think I'm interested to see what that was like. What did they teach you? As it was kind of what I'm saying. What is all that about?
You want him to give you the cheat code?
Yeah, for sure.
His 4-year degree. I got it.
For sure.
Today instead we have worked up. I think what we're going to talk about is sort of rolling off of last week. I believe it was when you did the mega update, you mentioned sort of diving in on doing takeoffs for material. And I think that's what we're going to try to do today is talk about some of that and all the different things that go into that, all the different materials you have to calculate on the job site, and then sort of tune it into an example.
Okay, that sounds good. So every day of my life as a builder or a contractor or a person managing a construction site or job, whatever, a lot of it has to do with how much of what do we need and when do we need it and how can we get it here. That's kind of the name of the game. And planning things ahead so that it's like a good illustration, I think, is comparing it to being a chef in a kitchen, because you have to get the right ingredients and you have to get the right things started first that take longer and get those in process while you can do shorter things in between while you're waiting on something else, or little things that can be here or there and don't have a real particular necessity for a certain time of phase of the project that can fit in anywhere while something else bigger is cooking, right?
Right.
So, you don't want to take that frozen turkey and,
Did you eat breakfast?
I did. Man, I'm hungry. What's going on? No, you get the point. You got to bake the cake for a while. You need to keep busy while the cake is baking.
I actually think it's an absolutely perfect analogy.
Well, thank you.
It is not easy for chefs or general contractors.
There you go.
It's a lot.
And you go ahead, Ben.
Well, I'm lost on how we got from turkey to cake.
Well, they both bake.
Oh, okay.
They're just both bake items. But the turkey takes longer.
Gotcha.
I've heard. I've never baked a turkey. Actually, I've never baked anything.
Is that true?
I mean, I can't.
Eggs.
You've never
Have
baked
you ever baked
brownies or
Nope.
nothing?
Maybe
a frozen pizza.
Cookies. Is that baking really? If you put a frozen pizza, is that?
No.
I mean, you have to press the bake button.
That's impressive.
Well, you're married to a baker. Is that proper to say?
I mean, I cooked before that. I mean,
you did?
when Mason and I lived together. Like, when we were
Ben
roommates,
is actually a really good cook.
Every now. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Really?
If we were to interview Ben right now, we could talk about cooking.
That is weird.
Yeah, let's not get distracted, I guess, though.
Well,
all right, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'll
a topic
say
for another day.
I'll say this: I didn't ever live by myself for very long.
Ever.
I mean, my parents went to Florida for the winters for a while, and so
It's not living by yourself.
I lived at home without my parents for a couple months a year.
What'd you eat?
What I would do is
Cereal.
I would make a quesadilla. It was the only thing I could make. It was either a Papa, what was it? Not Papa something pizzas, something that starts with a P. A little frozen pizzas. Mr.
Okay.
P's? Is that a pizza?
I have no clue.
Don't think so.
I don't
Mr.
spend a lot of
P's.
time shopping in the frozen pizza aisle.
Okay, I ate single small sized
Okay.
frozen pizzas,
Gotcha.
and then I would make quesadillas with just a tortilla, a flour tortilla with butter,
Okay.
refried beans, and a lot of cheese. I would put that together. I would cook it on the stovetop in a skillet, and then put salsa and sour cream on it or something. That is all I made for myself. And I lived.
Yeah.
I survived.
You do grill a lot, and
I thought it was good.
Make eggs, and you make all. I mean, you're a cooktop guy.
There it is.
Blackstone.
All right. What are we talking about? Construction?
You don't have a Blackstone, do you, Jamie?
No, I don't have a griddle type of grill. All right. So the idea that being in construction, in any management position, you're going to be planning a job out, and you're going to be thinking ahead and trying to get the materials. And it's more than even that, especially if you have a homeowner that you have to get before. You can't just go get stuff usually without, the homeowner picking the thing. Now in the phases maybe concrete framing and things like that, there's not a lot of options you may need to pitch to your homeowner. But when it comes to anything finish related, all these decisions, you have to give your homeowner preparation time to pick out product like siding or decking and not just the type, but then the color, the actual selection, so you might go look at types of materials. And like for siding, for example, you might say, okay, you want vertical or horizontal looking siding. Okay, well then there's 10 options in each category for lap siding or, board and batten, reverse board and batten, metal vertical siding. Well, you get the point. There's lots of choices, and there's more products than ever available.
Right.
And good ones too. And so then it's, okay, what specific product, and then what kind of trim goes with that, and what style do you like, and then what color and what sheen of paint and all that. So it's just on and on. There's like all the work you have to do to know what even is this thing. Oh, Eric's calling me. What does he want?
You want to take it?
Well,
It's odd that he calls.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
Jason texts me asking you
You
a
have
question.
headphones on.
I'm gonna answer him here real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, you're on the podcast, Eric. Yeah, wait, let me get it on. You're on the podcast.
Yeah, you're
on. I got you on speaker. We're filming a podcast.
Has Max got his banjo?
Dude,
Oh.
Max is MIA.
No.
Yeah, well, he called eventually, but it was a bad sign when he didn't answer my text and the calls went straight to voicemail. I was concerned this morning.
Huh. So what happened?
He forgot to set his alarm.
Oh. Well, at least he knows how to get there. I drove him up there yesterday just to show him.
Well, for next week, we're doing it next week.
Yeah.
So, hey, can I call you back?
Sounds great.
Maybe he should just sleep in the tiny house.
You can call me back.
All right, I'm going to call you back. We're going to keep going here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Hello, everybody. Goodbye, everybody.
All right, there it is. Thanks.
Okay.
See ya.
See ya.
Well, do you want to just do outside stuff?
All
Because
right.
Jason asked me, can you ask Jamie what the guy who works at Green Brothers' name is?
Who asked you that?
Jason.
Okay. Josh is his name.
Okay, that's all I need.
That's it?
Back to what we're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with
Outside influences here.
Well, that was a nice little interruption. Now, too bad for not giving Max a hard time.
We could do, yeah, sorry, Max. Hey, you're getting it now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
With, let's say, for the next home that's coming up. I mean, you're sort of referencing what's going on now with the mega build, but
Yes.
with the next home that's coming up, I mean, material calculations start from day one.
Yeah.
With what is that? I mean, what are the things that go into say like day one, site's done, you get there, you're going to be thinking, I don't know if foundation's dug out or not, but like gravel comes or you're doing gravel, you're doing block, you're doing concrete, all that on day one.
Yeah. So I am in this episode, I don't think we're going to go do a complete exhaustive, how to figure materials for every type of material in a house, but let's do, some of the beginning ones.
Okay.
And, explain what I think about when this happens, right?
Or maybe the biggest ones throughout the job.
Okay.
That are just like, man, this is you need to get this right.
Okay. And then we are going to talk about an example, and I'll go ahead and pull out the spoiler of it, but we're going to talk about a deck because a lot of people may not be building a whole house or whatever, but they might say, man, I want to add a deck to my house. How many boards is it going to take, or how much concrete is it going to take to do the footings, or, things like that, right. Or how much decking, how do I figure that out? So we'll get to that. That'll kind of be where we get, but let's just start, like, for example, the next house I'm going to build. I have a set of plans. I know the dimensions of it. And the first thing you're going to do is dig the foundation, dig the footings. Okay. And the first thing that I need to figure, once the footings are dug, I don't really have to figure anything pre-digging so much, literally set the depth on the laser level and dig a ditch. That's the shape of the house, a certain depth. And well, that sounded really easy when I put it that way, but that's not really how easy it is. But nothing's easy. Everybody knows that. All right, concrete. We're going to pour footings. How much concrete does it take? Well, it's really just a simple volume calculation. Different materials are sold in different, either by the pound or the ton, or by the board, or by the length of the foot, or by the cubic volume. So it varies material to material, and the concrete's sold by the yard. Mm-hmm. Well, what does that mean? Okay, now this is if you order a concrete truck that's going to drive up, not like you're going to buy Sackcrete or that's a brand.
Quickcrete or
Quickcrete,
yeah.
Sackcrete.
Yeah, no, this is the big trucks coming.
All right, so a yard of concrete is a cubic yard. So that's 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. That is 9.
Cubic.
I'm sorry, 27 cubic feet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's 27 cubic feet.
Can we get that in centimeters and meters?
Nope, you'll have to do the conversions. Our concrete trucks only deliver a cubic feet.
Yeah. And I would say that's a pretty big one as to that you want to get it right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the strategy of
just right.
No, just right is just wrong, actually.
Okay.
In this case. Only in this case. Well, no, that's not true either. All right, let's just use a really easy footing for an example. Let's just say that it's 100 feet of perimeter. So
Okay.
like a 25-foot square house, 25 times 4 is 100 linear feet. Now, man, maybe somebody can tell me what the difference in lineal and linear is, because it seems to be interchangeable, and I actually don't know. But some people say, you want lineal feet or linear feet? All right.
I don't know.
Somebody help me out on that one. I'd love to know. And let's just say for this example, our concrete footing is 2 feet wide and 1 foot thick. Okay. Then if you multiply those dimensions, 1 foot thick times 2 feet wide times 100 feet long, that would equal 200 cubic feet.
Okay.
Am I doing this right? I'm actually going to pull up my calculator here and do this on the fly just to make sure I'm not saying total nonsense.
Your math works.
Yes, 1 times 2 times 100 is 200. Okay, so we have 200 cubic feet, but they don't sell it in the cubic foot amount. They sell it in cubic yards.
Right.
So we have to do the old conversion.
Okay.
And this is basic math, but this is the math that I do every day. So when the kids say, "Oh, I don't need to learn this math," now there's a lot of advanced math that they learn that I don't think applies directly to construction, or else I would know about it by now. Okay, so all you do is say 200 divided by the number of cubic feet in a cubic yard, which is 27, and I'm going to get a number that equals 7.4. Okay, that footing takes 7.4 yards. See how I delayed there?
Yep.
That's so I can make sure I say the right word. All right, now, but does it really take 7.4?
There's going to be some waste.
There's going to be waste because not every drop of that concrete's coming out of the truck.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be irregularities probably in the footing itself. The
Right.
actual, you take an average measurement of depth and average measurement of width, and you make sure that if it's supposed to be 2 feet wide, 24 inches, but it measures 26 inches everywhere, you need to account for that because you're 24 inches out the window now.
Right.
You've got an extra 2 inches of 100 feet by a foot thick, or a foot deep. So did I say that right? 100
Yes,
feet.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, I thought maybe I mixed it up there. At any rate, all those little variables will have a big effect, especially the bigger the footer, the bigger, well, it's ratioed. Maybe it doesn't. You get the point. You have to account for it, okay? So I would order, if I knew my footings were, cut, square edged, exactly my numbers, and it said 7.4 is the volume, I would order 8 yards. That's only barely over a half of a yard extra. Also, are you going to be using a pump? A concrete pump. Like,
Right.
are you gonna roll the concrete directly out of the chute, out of the back of the truck? And we used to do that on every house almost that I built with my dad. We never used a concrete pump
Right.
because it costs money.
Yeah.
And that would have come out of profit at the time, given our pricing structure. So if you save that money, that's good for you.
So did you do, if the truck couldn't get there, you had to do a wheelbarrow like over to the truck? And
Yeah,
back
if
and
you
forth?
couldn't,
That's
the most common thing that we did, and we did this all the time growing up, building with my dad. We were doing mostly simple houses without basement, so just crawl space type. Right. And we would take, just like, we're always clearing the site or doing something. There was always trees, pieces of the logs and branches. And so what we would do is we'd cut 3-foot sections of like logs or whatever that are like 6-inch maybe diameter. And we'd fill the footing up so that the concrete truck could actually back into the center of the house and drive through the foundation, and that would be the part, of course, that you pour last. You would, drive into the middle of the house. And if there's piers in the middle of the house, of course, you would pour those on your way out. So, you're sweeping the chute back and forth. You're getting the truck driver to go forwards and backwards, and they're locking the chute. They have a little hydraulic clamp on the chute so it can swing or it can be locked in position. And it's just orchestration of big truck and chute and people. And, I need a little more. Oh, that was too much. Now I got to rake it out. It's actually stressful.
Right. Well, on a lot of these home sites, there's not a lot of space either.
There's not a lot of room.
If it's a house site with a view, it usually means it's on the side of a mountain.
That's right.
It's pretty genius, though, actually.
That does
mean I wonder
mean
who told your dad, why don't you just pull the truck into the middle of the... I wonder who did that. Where did he get that?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't common practice back in the day.
Maybe it was just him.
No, right before you said that didn't cross my mind.
Right. You would have to think of a way.
Yeah, Ben said, well, did you just wheelbarrow it? Which is what I would have thought you would have done, but that's a lot of concrete to wheelbarrow. I mean,
it is.
Not to say it can't be done, but...
It is not fun.
No. That's why your back hurts.
So I know we're just talking about like material and stuff, but I can't help but talk about the concrete thing.
Well, without a good foundation.
So absolutely. And then, okay, so you figured out your concrete. Great. You can do some simple volume math and get cubic feet and convert it to cubic yards and order that number of cubic yards plus some extra in case your footings are a little bit dug over, or in case, maybe they batched it a little off. You don't know if they...
Yeah, because the mixture could come out a little... It's like, it's too wet, it's too thick.
There could be.
I don't know. And they can sort of change that as it's coming out of the chute, right?
They can, yeah, of course. They can add a little bit of water in the truck and mix it up, in the mixer thing in there.
What if, worst case scenario, and you calculate wrong, you calculate short. Then what?
You're screwed. No. I mean, I don't know. Okay, well, let's talk about a couple other factors.
Has that happened before?
Yes. Okay. There's a couple of other factors on that topic. And also, I'll say, too, the steel. If you're going to put steel in your foundation, you need to know what is the length of it and how much do they overlap at every overlap, because that you lose that virtual length of your material. For the overlap, it's typically 2 feet of overlap on rebar. And then how many times are you going around the foundation with that rebar and then multiply it by that many times? So that's very simple. We usually put 2 pieces of number 5 rebar, which is 5/8 thick.
Okay.
That's kind of the standard. It is not even required by code. We put it in. I would do more. I would go crazy with the rebar, actually. Please do.
It makes for a stronger foundation.
Yeah, it does. Well, at least here it does.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know about where you live. Where I come from, the steel in the foundation helps a lot. Okay, let's talk about what happens if you don't order enough. Well, where we live, the most common truck size, I guess, the amount of volume of concrete that they can carry is 8 to 10 yards max. And, so a little truck is 8 yards and a big truck. They have 2 different types of trucks, basically.
Little and big.
And they used to have one even smaller. In where we live in the mountains, well, I know that your dad has driven a concrete truck. Mm-hmm. And I never have, but that seems like the scariest job ever to me. To take a truck, a big, heavy truck up these little mountain roads. A lot of the roads are new.
Yeah, and barely 8 feet wide.
Not wide enough. Yeah. It's not, dude. It's like this. What is the trucker show where they drive?
Ice Road Truckers.
Yeah, Ice Road Truckers or the other place. I don't know, whatever. It's like these logging.
Oh, the logging.
I'm thinking of the logging ones. And I'm also thinking of the ones like in South America or India or something where they're on the side of a cliff mountain.
Those are just like buses of people.
Okay.
Yeah, with human beings as the passenger. On the modern build, not to get sidetracked, but the concrete guy on the Mega Modern, when it poured down rain, dude, he was like on ice skates. Mm-hmm. That was kind of sketchy.
That is very scary. I thought the day was going to turn out differently because I thought that truck was going to go off the mountain and disappear. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It didn't. Somehow he pulled it together and lived. But it was one of the worst that I thought it could go really bad. I thought, oh man, this is so bad.
Yeah, if anybody wants that's probably around episode 10 or something. If anybody wants to go back and check that out.
Yeah. My dad's had some horror stories with that, and just times where he was just like, "This isn't worth it," and like parked the truck and said, "Come and get it."
No way.
Yeah.
Was the concrete still in the truck?
I don't know.
Well, it's one thing
because it's like the dispatcher just sends you somewhere and they have no clue. about where you're going or what you're doing. So it's, they get there and he's just like, this is impossible. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not the right guy for this.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to risk my life for it. So,
are you tweaking Ben's mic?
Yeah. He's messing with my mic. If nobody can tell, I'm using the old mic because we thought we were going to have a guest and we gave the guest a new mic, but the guest didn't show up. So
you have such a good radio voice. Your voice is very deep.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's good.
It's your tuning that makes it
just
all come together.
I want it louder, but not more bass. So I'm just rolling the high pass up a little bit here.
All right. Well, you do you.
We're pretty transparent in how we do our stuff around here because that's what we're doing. Okay. Now, if you didn't order, 8 to 10 yards. You can get 8 to 10 yards at a time. So if you have a pour, like this example, it just happened to be 8 yards. Perfect. You tell them, take that 8-yard truck, fill it up to the top, send it, maybe give me 8 1/4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Make it 8. All right. You got a half a yard extra to play with. If you're a little bit off, great. The thing is, there's no redeeming leftover concrete unless you have another thing to put it in that you have already pre-planned.
Right.
They do not want to sit around and wait for you to think of something to do with it. They will shoot it out on the ground right at your feet and leave.
Yeah, they don't want it back either.
Or they actually do some stuff with it back at the plant. Like if you have a half a truck left, yes, they will pour these precast concrete blocks. They have all these molds or forms, and they can redeem the value of that concrete for themselves.
But they don't give you a refund.
But you paid for it. You bought it.
What a great business model.
You bought it, and they get to keep it.
And they're going to sell the block.
And then they sell the block. Dude, they are making it on every turn. These guys are smart. Okay. If your job is over one truck size, then obviously there's going to be multiple trucks. Now, this can get dicey depending on how far away from the plant you are. And look, we're not going to have time to talk about anything else if we go down this concrete what-ifs rabbit hole.
Well, I was the big what-ifs. That was really it. You don't have to go into every scenario necessarily, but
the big what-ifs.
If I calculate it wrong, how screwed am I? Was really the big question, I guess. Is is it going to set up before I get more? What do I have to do? Is it going to cost double the amount to get one extra yard delivered?
Listen, you just keep asking questions. Every question you asked, and you just asked 4 questions in that one, that adds 20 minutes.
Okay. I mean,
okay, let's go back to what if you don't order enough. Let's just say that you thought it was 8 yards because you figured 7.4 and you knew that 8 would get it.
Okay. But
you're wrong because you're stupid and you forgot this one footing over on the side, or you forgot that this was a little deeper, or you forgot something, or okay, good.
Yes, I got it.
All right, let's just say you turn up that in your 100-foot long footing, your 2 feet of it you can't pour. You're short by 2 feet. Well, okay. Are you going to get another whole concrete truck to fill up a 2-foot section that's a foot thick? Probably not. Mm-mm. Your best bet is probably to go drive to the hardware store and buy some Sackcrete and mix it yourself and dump it in there.
Okay.
Now, whether or not it matters if you get it in there while it's wet and everything is wet and it all bonds together, or whether it's a cold joint and everything is dried and hard and you come back the next day and pour it in there, may depend on some factors that we don't know, that we're not going to talk about. Ideally, it'd be great if it was all wet on wet. It would stick. It'd be like one bonded piece.
Yes.
But in your mind, you're better off breaking it at some point like that, getting the rest of it to the right height and everything set, and then saying, okay, I got to deal with this section.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And that has happened on our jobs when I've hired it out. Stuff can really go wrong when you sub it out and you're not supervising properly. So this one footing, the guy came up probably 2 yards, 3 yards short, but he had a big cement type mixer for mixing mortar for laying block. And he said, I'll just mix it and pour it when I lay the block. That's before we did our own block foundations. And I was like, dang, that's a lot to mix by hand, or with yourself at least, even if it's not really by hand. And so that's what he did though. I didn't see him do it, but that's what he told me he did. He mixed it in his own toe behind, cement mixer looking thing, and he poured it in there. Is it as good? I don't think so. Honestly, the factory, or I don't know if factory is the right word, but the we'll call it batched concrete from the concrete plant, I think is better.
Superior.
I believe it is than than, now I don't know about Satcrete. You can buy high strength Satcrete. You can buy all kinds of, put additives in it, whatever. I'm not saying that's not good, but you also would order, concrete by the PSI when it's hard and dried. How much weight can it bear without breaking or whatever? That's called the PSI. So typically we use 3,000 PSI. If it's going to have more load or you want it to be stronger, need it to be stronger, you can order, 4,000, 5,000 PSI concrete. And I'm sure way more, and also all kinds of additives.
Is that pressure per square inch?
Pounds, I guess, PSI. Pounds per square inch of concrete. Yeah. So, in a wood frame house typically is a lightweight structure. We're not talking about, anything really highly significant in small, regular homes as far as loads go. So that's why we can use the lowest level of concrete, 3,000 PSI. And there's no engineer specifying this, by the way. It's just per code. In the North Carolina Building Code book, they would specify a minimum PSI concrete, which I think 3,000 is totally fine. I'll give you an example though. In the Mega Modern build that we're doing, there's a suspended slab. It's called like a concrete slab that's like a bridge over the basement. So you park a car in this slab, but underneath of it is a room.
Right. And
that concrete in that whole system was designed by an engineer, and they specify a certain PSI of concrete, which was higher than, the minimum.
Okay.
So you better do that per the engineer's recommendations. All right. So if you run out, we're still, boy, we're really dragging this one out. Oh my goodness. Well, the problem is there's so much information. That's the thing. It's like, each little thing that I think of that I want to say leads me to think of other factors that I'm thinking of.
You know what it's called,
right? This show's called Let Jaime Talk.
Yeah, got it.
My brain can't just if you could just read my brain, then I wouldn't have to say all this. And I wouldn't be, my mouth wouldn't get so tired from talking.
That's coming soon. We're going to Jamie's brain book.
Oh, man.
Long.
It gets back to the whole thing like, hey, I'm going to do this job for $1,000, and somebody says, well, it only took you 10 minutes. Well, yeah, but you just paid me for 20 years worth of experience. You didn't pay me for how long the job was going to take.
That's right, for sure. So I want to say too, there's two kind of methods that the concrete plant will use for trucking your job, depending on their other demand for other jobs on that day. They'll either do something called a callback, where you say, okay, this might be 30 or 40 yards, and gee, we're just not sure. And now, relative to how much you need, the size of the truck is looking small, or let's say it's 60, 70 yards. Not that you can't make an accurate calculation, because we did that on the concrete walls at the Mega Modern. We had like a 70-yard pour, and I calculated the internal volume of all the form work. And it's all hard lines, straight lines with, relatively easy to measure dimensions. Is possible to figure out what the volume is, right? And at the end of the day, though, you might say, all right, we're going to get this in 8-yard increments, and when we get to that last truck that's going to be a partial truck, we just see how much is left. Okay, we've already poured 90% of the job, and then we can just measure a small area that's left and be really accurate and order just that much to finish with the last truck. But it may depend on whether or not they're batching these trucks in advance and sending you a, what is it called when there's a bunch of army trucks going down?
Convoy.
A convoy. If they send you a convoy of batched trucks that are there, they have put the concrete and the ingredients of the components in the truck, and it's mixing, right. And it's
on a time.
Yes, it's a
stamp.
Time-sensitive concrete is. So if they've already batched it and it's on the way to your job site, you better have ordered it correctly. If you have the luxury of having a pour that is in such a way that you can have a delay in your last truck, and you can calculate that last amount, and then I saw that, Ben. He spilled his coffee on the table. Man, well, at least it's your house. It's your house, bro. Then you can just order that exact amount that is left. Sometimes the concrete truck will drive to your job site, drop off concrete, and then they'll say, how much more do you need? And that exact truck will go back to the concrete plant and fill up and come back to you.
Right.
That's, about half and half that happens here. But it depends on your proximity, the distance to the plant. What if the plant is an hour away? You're going to wait for an hour to drive back and then the batch time and then an hour to drive to your site again, that's going to be bad if you want concrete to bond to concrete. That's too long of a delay.
Well, yeah.
So
I understand there's all tiny little factors that go into all of this stuff.
You're not entertained by all the little factors.
I am. I think everybody is. I'm just saying, I think the listener wants to know all of this because they're trying to learn for themselves as to what.
Man, Jamie, I just got a 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot hole. How much concrete?
Yeah. No, yeah. I think, if you're trying to say you're trying to build your own house.
Okay.
That's a big project. And you would want to be correct on some of these things, I guess. So that was more so where I was leaning with the overall idea is what are the biggest things you can mess up if you were going to build your own house as far as material calculations.
Okay.
And I think concrete is one of those because it's expensive.
It is.
And that factor of, does it need to be all wet or what, can I just piece it together or, so what are the other things? The big ones.
Well, concrete is a big one. And our little hypothetical here was just on a footing, right?
Was it?
Yeah. No, that was just for the footing. If you don't mind, I'll just tell you the rest of the things I was thinking about that.
It's your show. Go ahead.
Real quick. We'll be done in a couple hours. There are some things. Remember the baking analogy? You got to get the turkey in the oven. Okay, that's your primary big thing. That's the big footing. Mm-hmm. But what if you have a deck that you dug a couple of deck piers on the side? Let's say you got 3 or 4 or 5 holes that could take a third of a yard each.
Okay.
Well, those are all independent of each other, all the separate little holes. So if you run out of concrete, let's just say you figured the 8 yards, but I've got 3 or 4 holes to fill as well, and you know that there's 0.6 extra yards on the truck, and let's say you did it perfectly and you used your 7.4, and you ask the concrete truck driver, hey, how much is in there? Is it 0.6 of a yard? They're going to look at you like you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. We always do ask them, how much is left in there? And they climb up on the top and look in there and yell out whatever you got about a yard left or whatever it is, right? They don't, they actually probably do know. I don't know if they know or if they just make that up. But, you can, let's just say you got that 0.6 and then, maybe that fills 2 holes, but you had 4 holes to fill. Mm-hmm. Well, don't call a truck back. You can mix, those, and those are good places for that to play out and run out in a place where it doesn't matter if you do one at a time, a little tiny one.
Could I partially fill a hole?
Yeah, if you rough it up, rough up the surface a little bit, the next bond on there just fine, probably. I wouldn't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Not for a deck footing.
Gotcha.
We're not building skyscrapers. Okay, so there's that. And then there's a sound that a concrete truck makes when it runs out.
Okay.
Have you heard it?
I don't think so.
Okay, when they're spinning the drum, it's like a giant screw in there. There's these giant fins that they can spin the drum both directions to either send the concrete to the front of the truck while they're traveling, and it has to keep spinning so it doesn't start setting. I don't know the movement, and it's continually mixing too. And then, they put it in reverse and they spin that stuff out and shoot it out the chute. When the last bit of concrete that's going to come out comes out, then you begin to hear a rattling sound. It's the sound of the rock, like the stones that are in the concrete. They're 3/4 inch, say, size stones. They spin around the drum and they fall. They're falling from the top of the drum into the bottom as they're spinning around. There's no concrete for it to come out,
right.
But you'll hear this rattling sound of those rocks just kind of bouncing around and you're like, oh no, we're out. You can hear it and you're like, dang, we're not done.
Right. So it's either a good sound or a bad sound, depending on how you calculate it.
That's right. So we always get it exactly, so it's not a big deal for us.
Yeah, buddy.
Not.
All right.
Okay, can we move on? I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Outside of concrete, like there's big material calculations you can mess up.
Well, I forgot. I just now remember what I was going to say. If you're doing a slab, okay.
Oh yeah.
A finished slick slab in a basement, say, or a garage, running out is not really an option.
Oh, really?
And the weather becomes such a greater factor in your planning of the finishing of it.
Okay.
Because the surface finish in the consistency, if you run out halfway and let's just say you try to make a stop and a start and do it another day or something. And I know that happens, but that can be such a disaster and stressful too. Mm. So
So let's say I'm doing that
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to screw up.
Mm-hmm.
Can I call somebody to come look? Will the concrete company come be like, this is how much you need?
They would. I mean, if you don't figure it or you don't know how, you would. Most of the time, the guy on the phone is going to say, how many yards do you want? And if you say, I don't know, but here's how big it is, and then you just tell them how thick it is, because the math might be a little harder on a slab because it might be 5 inches thick or 3.5 inches is the minimum for a house slab. It might have footings built into the slab. It might be monolithic on the edges, turned down, or it might have some interior load-bearing walls dug out. Those are harder to calculate because they're not always perfectly shaped. And anyway, they can you could give them the dimensions and they'll do the math for you. Mm-hmm. So that you don't necessarily have to know exactly, but if you're on site and you're seeing it and you're measuring it, you should be smart enough and able to calculate it.
Gotcha.
That's what I think. Or you're just putting it in someone else's hands and maybe they get it right, maybe they don't.
Yeah, you sub it out.
Yeah, or you sub the whole thing out to an expert that does everything and you don't do any thinking and all you do is pay for it. That's not a bad idea, really.
Especially, so if it was a slab for sure, it's maybe a really good idea to sub it if you're not comfortable with concrete calculations.
That's right. Make sure you get a good concrete contractor because otherwise they'll screw it up for you. That happens too, though. It's so tough. It's tough. I mean, there are really good people out there that do work, and then there's I don't know.
All right.
I mean, I screw up plenty, so I mean, even it's not I'm not above messing up too, Yeah. Even with all my best efforts, stuff goes sideways. Like, I'll give you a good example. The one of the pours that we did, we ordered our convoy of concrete trucks.
Okay.
But something got delayed. My pumper got delayed. So, all my whole scheduling for the day of pouring is based on when did the pumper guy get here and when can he receive and pump the first truck. And all the subsequent trucks in the convoy are based on the arrival time of the first truck and how fast does the pump guy think that he can dispense all the concrete. Okay?
Yep.
And then he also is communicating with the plant, the concrete plant, and, doing this, I call it like this orchestration of when is coming, what is coming when and how much. Anyway, the guy got delayed by like an hour or two or something. And so the trucks that the concrete plant was going to send to me, they say, all right, we're going to have 3 trucks doing your job or something like that. And maybe they have 5 trucks. Who knows? Those trucks were going to be dedicated to me, but then my guy was late and they had another job that was not running late. So they took one of my trucks and sent it out because they couldn't be flexible. They couldn't push somebody else back or they weren't going to mess up somebody else's schedule. So then all of a sudden my 3 truck deal turned into 2 trucks. And then we've got a 45-minute delay or an hour delay on our last truck, or, things get messed up that are totally out of, you have the best plans. You got the best people that you think you can get. And then, the guy gets a flat tire on the day that he didn't get a flat. I don't know what happened, but you get the point.
He didn't set an alarm.
Yeah, he didn't set an alarm.
Oh my gosh,
man.
Whoops.
That was a really sad story. That was a real downer.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You're still upset about it.
I don't know if I'm going to get over that one.
You had it lined up perfectly.
What if your pump in the middle of your job, what if your pump breaks down? The concrete pump, and it's full of concrete too. That's bad news for him, but it's bad news for you because unless he's got a buddy nearby with another pump, your job just went sideways and you're out of control.
Concrete.
And there's usually there's not water on site.
Not usually at that time.
To wash anything out.
Concrete setting up inside of a pumper's hoses.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, disaster.
Yes, and yes. All right, let's move on to something else. Framing. Let's call framing out.
Okay.
That's a big one.
We can't, I don't know if we're going to go into I say this every time.
You do.
I don't think we're going to go into as much detail, followed by the next 3 hours of talking about the detail. For somebody like, I think we're trying to mostly talk to people who are not highly experienced in this. That's the purpose of us trying to explain what it is. And, I'm sure people who do this for a living are probably getting a kick out of, all this too, because they're like, yeah, that happened to me or whatever, you know, or at least I would be. If I heard somebody else do this exact podcast, I would resonate with it pretty well.
Yeah.
Because this happens to, I think, everybody in the industry at some point in time. Some of these things happen. So let's move on to framing. So for somebody, you're not really familiar with framing, but you're going to build something. You're determined. Okay, let's just say you're going to build something small again. Let's say that 25 by 25 thing that you did your slab and your footings on that you calculated perfectly.
Let's call it a garage.
Let's say it's a garage.
Yeah.
That's a perfect size garage. Okay. I want one.
Oh, here we go.
I need one with a big wide door, like 18 feet.
Right.
18-foot door. 2-car.
Perfect.
I mean,
that leaves you the perfect amount of space on each side.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
Two Porsches.
Okay.
All right. You're going to build walls. You're going to have a roof.
Okay.
That's going to be the extent of this garage. God, this thing's going to be nice. Okay, you're going to use 2x4 studs, let's say, and they're going to be 10 feet high. That would be the limit also of what I would build a 2x4 wall.
Okay.
Just for kick around, whatever. I'd say 10 foot's a good limit on 2x4 high walls.
Single story.
Yep. And you're going to get trusses for the roof.
When do I have to decide what kind of roof I'm going to do?
Before you build your walls.
Okay.
Because those roof trusses, that's the turkey. That roof truss package is a frozen turkey. Don't build your walls and then say, wow, my walls are done. I should get a roof. Let me call the truss plant or the truss manufacturer. And, you know, they might get to you pretty quick, but if you want things to go nice and smooth without big delays, the day that you're thinking about digging footings before you dig them, you should have called the concrete plant and said, I need these trusses of this length to cover this building.
Call the concrete plant?
I'm sorry, did I say call? Good luck with that. Yeah. I would call instead the truss company.
Okay, got it.
You just call anybody. It doesn't even matter. Appreciate that. Yes, call the truss company or your local building. So you may not deal directly with the truss plant, by the way. You might call your local building supply, like, for example, Jennings Builder Supply.
Yeah.
I can call them and order trusses. Do they make trusses? No.
Right.
But they got a guy somewhere. So literally I could call, I mean, you can call Lowe's. Can you call?
Really?
I bet you can. I don't know that for sure. I've never ordered trusses from Lowe's. I typically deal directly with the truss manufacturer. Right. So I can get, because a lot of times there's a lot of communication.
Is that Andrews Truss?
Well, Andrews Truss, and there's one down in Georgia called Pro Truss that I've used a lot. And
I've just seen that truck around. So.
Yeah, those are some local ones. I think we're using Andrews Truss on the upcoming job.
Gotcha.
According to the interweb, Lowe's sells truss components, but they do not sell engineered trusses.
Okay.
Don't call Lowe's.
No.
Don't call Lowe's.
Never mind on that.
But if you were going to build your own trusses, you could get components from Lowe's.
Okay. And you can build your own trusses. That's pretty fun too. I've done that some. It's actually a great time.
Yeah. A lot of angles.
Don't get me started on that. I want to go. I want to build my dream truss someday.
On top of your dream garage.
On my dream 25 by 25 garage that we're building right now. The whole point is call ahead of time to order your trusses because it takes time for them to make them and to get them delivered to your beautiful new garage.
What's that? What's the lead time, you think?
At least 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And this would be a really simple job. I mean, just like one clear span, 25 feet, tell them the overhang, tell them the width of the building, tell them the roof pitch, they do the rest.
Including the math and the stamp, and give you an engineered stamp for the, right?
Even if it's a shed roof or anything like that, it's still, you still got to call them, tell them all the details, get it done.
It could be the shape of a unicorn, and they would
do it.
Make it.
Wow.
No, I don't know if they would or not, but that'd be pretty cool. You know that guy with the unicorn garage? It's got a horn.
Actually, your garage is kind of like the unicorn one.
Why is that?
It doesn't exist.
Oh, great. I knew you were going to be below the belt. That's what I knew. Okay, so then you ordered your trusses early on. You're smart. You're a good builder. Let's build the walls. Okay, you need to know, for this garage, you could do 24-inch on center spacing of the studs. You need to know that the wall stud spacing, there are two standard spacings, 16 inches on center or 24 inches on center.
Okay.
For this building, it wouldn't matter. You could save a few bucks and do 24 on center. And you would align the load-bearing, the trusses are going to load bear on two walls. the walls that they sit on, and they will clear span across the 2 other walls that are not load bearing, but you would build them the same. Okay, but let's talk about this. This is a little interesting. And this is the way my garage is built, and a lot of garages may be built, is that when you approach the garage, you can probably imagine looking at the gable end of a roof that would be like this, and there's a big opening, the garage door. And you would think, ooh, I need a big header on that garage door. Do you?
I don't know.
What?
Depends on which direction the trusses are.
It does. Well, if we're looking at the gable end, meaning,
then no, you do not.
Meaning, you're looking at it and you see a giant garage door, and then you see a triangle shape of the roof of the truss.
It would only need, I'm going to just guess, it would only need to be as big as the span is required to support itself.
Yes,
not
exactly.
anything above it.
You and maybe the actual door opener and stuff like that has to have something solid to mount to. But what I'm going to say is that the truss above that on the roof could be the header. In a gable end truss, the end trusses are made differently than the ones that are out in the middle.
Right.
They're called gable end trusses, and they have vertical framing members to emulate or to line up with your studs. So your sheathing and your siding materials will be applied to this gable end truss. Now, if you don't want to put a header that's structural in your 18-foot long wide garage door, which is big for a garage door, you could get what's called a structural gable end, which is they just take a standard middle of the roof type of truss, and then they put the vertical pieces, like little short pieces, they all get added in.
Gotcha.
So that it's structural with the W kind of shape, triangulated strength is in it, but then it also has vertical pieces for your sheathing to nail to, and that's important. Or you could just put a big header in there, like an LVL, or a giant timber header, whatever, and then you could get a standard gable truss, which is not structural. If you can imagine that.
Yeah. But what's cheaper?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to do the math.
Gotcha.
And I don't know which one would be cheaper. But I'm just saying there's an option. You could say, all right, well, this LVL header is going to cost me $500. Well, how much is it going to take to convert this gable end truss that is non-structural into a structural truss? Probably not $500. It's probably cheaper to just do the truss.
Gotcha.
And then use a lighter version of framing. It
would also increase your height capability, because then you don't have a header below the truss.
That's true. Make sure to leave room for that garage door opener, though.
No, or you can put it on the side, Jamie.
Yeah, mine's on the side. It's like
side
a belt drive on the side.
I should just send Ben a picture of my garage, because you're basically describing.
Yeah.
You have a fancy garage door opener.
I don't. Not garage. I'm talking about like my garage. You're talking about 25.
Yeah, but yours has got an apartment above it.
Yeah, but it's built with trusses. Sorry, Jamie.
It's great. No, it's super. I have the oldest, schoolest garage door opener they make. The cheapest.
The oldest, schoolest.
The oldest, schoolest.
It still works, though.
I bet you it's a Chamberlain.
It only works because I have my garage door motor and the gears and all that stuff that moves the door up and down with the chain drive that clacks and slaps against the track. I had it rebuilt.
Oh, wow.
I did. I had it rebuilt. If you don't know, eventually your door can only go up and down so many times.
Yeah. Then my spring broke.
Yeah, that's very bad. You didn't get hurt.
I did not, but it definitely dropped.
The door dropped. That happened to me too.
Yeah.
And garage doors can be very heavy, especially these big ones. So you need to know a garage door guy to get him to rebuild your stuff when it breaks.
I just got a new one. My wife wanted a new door, one with windows,
Yeah?
One of those that look nice.
Oh, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
All right, we're on trusses.
I want to see it.
We're on trusses.
All right, then. Trusses.
Framing.
Yeah, the wall framing. Okay, so let's do some quick numbers.
25, 25, 25.
You still got that same 100 feet of perimeter. And when I'm doing a plan or I'm looking at a plan, I'll write down the perimeter somewhere. I'll write it on there because it's not necessarily included on any plan. What is the perimeter footage and the length? And then you're gonna use different methods here to figure different materials. Okay, so for the sake of the studs. Now you're gonna have a pressure treated plate that's gonna screw down or bolt down. Okay, so you need 100 feet of that. You're gonna get 16-foot material probably. And so let's do this real quick for the pressure treated plates. Using my calculator again, we're going to go 100 feet. That's how much it takes to go all the way around. And you got a garage door, you're going to lose, a little bit there. We're going to divide it by the length of a board, which is 16 feet. And that gives me 6.25. So I need to go down to the store and buy 6.25 boards, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can do it.
So what? Get
Not if
7.
you don't have a ladder rack.
No. You
got 16-foot boards.
Well, not everybody can haul 16-foot boards.
You need double 8. You need
That's
eights.
right. Okay, so
10s.
8s. Well, you need to double it then. So it's going to take, let's just do that. 100 feet divided by 8. That's going to give you 12.5. So you need 13 boards. And you know that probably 1 or 2 of them are going to be bad, I would say. Even if you pick them out, they might warp up in the sun while you're, taking lunch break. Who knows? But also you're going to have some waste when you cut boards to the certain length that you need. Like for example, a 25-foot garage with 8-foot boards is going to get you 24 feet.
It doesn't math.
Right. So, and there's ways you can, overlap the corners a certain direction to make it work out. And that would be smart if you thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you need to buy a few more boards than you need. You're going to have a few left over. Maybe you can return them. Maybe you're stuck with them forever. So what? It's part of the building process there, having, some waste.
10%?
Or you could, yeah, maybe. I was going to say you could design your building to be 24 foot, 7.5 plus 7.5 minus. No, I'm not going to do that. That would not be what I would do. But some people ask me, why don't you just make the building the size of the boards? Well, all in all, I don't think that ends up being a more efficient method.
Gotcha.
I really don't. Not to that degree, at least. Our 25-foot garage is just fine, although 24 would fall under better numbers, 24 by 24. But we picked 25 by 25. We're committed to this because the scale of it and the ratio looks just right. And you already told your wife it's going to be that size. And if you change it now, your name is mud. Okay. Your studs are let's go 24 inches on center.
Okay.
For the studs. You already got your sill plates. Let's figure studs. You got 100 feet. You divide that by 2 feet because you have one every 2 feet.
What about the garage door?
Well, let's talk about that. So you got your 100 feet divided by 2 is going to give you 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, but I'm going to do the calculator to make sure I'm not saying something. Okay.
You just did 100 divided by 2.
That's what I did, just to prove that to everybody else.
Yep.
That's what it is 50. Now, do you really need 50 studs? That's a great question. I don't know.
If I don't take out from my garage door, then I've maybe calculated in my overage, so to speak, my waste, right?
Yes, you could have calculated it. Now, the corners also take a little bit more.
Right.
There's maybe 2 or 3 studs in every corner, so you need to add 2 or 3 per corner, right? So add another 10. And then in the garage door, here's a good rule of thumb, that the whether you're following a building code or whether you're just building it to look right to your eye, the idea is that whatever the opening size is in the width, however many studs would have been in that space that you now made a big opening, there should be that many studs still incorporated into the 2 sides of the opening that support the header, like the jacks and the king studs. The king studs would be the ones that are full length that run just at the ends of the header that actually do connect the top and the bottom plates, okay?
So almost just like opening an accordion blinds. You're going to slap everything over to the side.
Yes, you're going to still incorporate the same amount of strength. You're just going to relocate it to the sides of the door. So hopefully that makes perfect sense. So let's take this 18-foot. We're going to divide that by 2. That gives us 9 studs. Let's call it 10. And that's a really big header. Or actually, I think they want as many king studs as would have been missing.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there was, let's just call it 8. Let's just say there's 8 studs would have been in that doorway. You're going to put 4 king studs on each side. And I just had to do this on the one we're building now. And I think I put 3 on each side, and the inspector wanted 2 more.
Oh, wow.
And I did. I just added them in there. There was nothing in the way except some wires. Yeah, it's good to do this framing stuff before you get all your wiring in, because then everything's in the way and it's not as easy.
Well, you would want to make sure too that they make a door the size of the opening that you're putting in.
Yes, it's a good conversation to have.
You don't want to just be like, I'm going to do this opening, sort of,
That's a tricky thing, and you better get it right, or your garage door guy is going to come out there to hang a door, and it's not going to fit.
Yeah.
And I've never had one that didn't fit, but I have had some that I could have made a little bit wider. And, the door size, they come in like even foot sizes, and you would typically make your finished opening. This is different than framing a door for, like an interior door or something, the way that we would size the rough opening size. Anyway, you make the finished opening of the garage door opening the exact size of the door, the nominal named size. So if your door is 18 feet wide and 9 feet tall, your finish, the inside of your trim, when it's all installed, should measure exactly that.
Gotcha.
That's the size of the door. That's the size of the opening in the finish. And then they put a little rubber, gasket strip. Well, they just did it. Or did you do it?
I mean, it was years ago, but yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So how many studs does it take? 50 plus, add some for the corners, and then, add a few extra because you might have a window or two or another side door that you're going to cut up into pieces and make those openings, and you might waste some. Yeah. So
now that you could call Lowe's and get that delivered.
Sure.
Do you trust them to pick out studs for you?
They don't pick studs for you. They will send you whatever's on top of the pile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a factor that you just have to order more overage for. Okay, they just can't do it, and I don't blame them. And nobody really does this when you're ordering large quantities, at least, of material. They're going to send you a bundle. They're going to send you however many you order, and they're not going to look down the length of each stud and pick only the good ones, so that they can keep a whole pile of really bad ones for themselves that they can't sell. And that's just part of it as well. With a natural material, wood is a natural material. So natural.
You love saying that word.
All natural material.
Material.
Oh man, don't you love it?
That t-shirt's coming, don't worry.
You got a material shirt?
I'm working on it.
All right, Ben's working on it. If you don't know, I'm going to give a little plug for Ben. He designs these logos and these awesome graphics images for the t-shirts and the merch that we have, which is not limited to t-shirts because we have hats. We have belts now with awesome belt buckles with our
hot sauce coming.
We've got hot sauce coming. I'm excited. I talked to the hot sauce guy, Jared, right? Talked to him on the phone the other day.
Mm-hmm. You got candles coming too.
Candles, yes. Oh man, I'm excited about
basically
the candles.
All things branding.
Yes, and we need all these things too. These are all items of our daily use.
Yeah, basically, we just provide you guys with what you want to use.
Every good builder has building scented candles in their house.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what do you recall the
one of them's called Workshop.
One
of them's Tool Belt, and the other one's Mountain Home Site.
Okay, and the name, I don't know who got to name them. I didn't get to name these things. They didn't even ask me what I thought the name should be. But the name is going to somehow reflect the scent.
Yeah. What do you think Tool Belt smells like?
Well, either ours are made out of like synthetic material.
Old school Tool Belt.
Leather.
And sweat.
Leather and sweat combined. Where are you getting all the sweat to mix in with the candle
and
wax?
A little bit of sawdust.
So. Oh man, this is
leather,
like
sweat, and pine.
This is as bad as naming paint colors or fragrant, fragrance, like in the in the mall when you walk through the department stores and there's all the fragrances.
Who goes to the mall?
You know what the mall is?
Yeah, I do.
I still go to the mall.
Oh, that's one thing we forgot to bring up with Eric.
What?
Remember when he had a candy store in the mall?
He did, yes.
Oh.
It was called King of Sweets.
I totally forgot. I had that in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to bring up Eric's candy store.
Yeah, it was extravagant.
And I forgot. Dang it. Next time. Anyway. All right. So framing.
All right. So you figured out how many studs you need.
Yep.
Now, what if it's 16 on center? This is the biggest thing. People that just don't have this ingrained in their brain because they don't do this every day. 16 inches on center stuff, and even the whole on center thing, is a little bit of a mystery to some people that just are not like, what is that? Or how do I mark it on the plates? And
your tape has that on there, doesn't it?
It does, but okay, let's just take this. I'm gonna give you two approaches. Okay, for 100 feet of studs, and we're not gonna include the corner factor and the how many jack studs are under the garage door header. Okay, you got 100 feet. It's just gonna be a straight wall, 100. and I want to do 16 inches. Oh, I got 100 feet. How many times does 16 inches go into 100 feet? Well, I just multiply 100 by 0.75. Okay, I'm going to do it here. 100 times 0.75. You can probably guess the answer. Whoops, I can't use my calculator. That's the problem. I should have brought my Texas Instruments in
That'd
here.
be 75.
You are right.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we're really impressing people now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's more than 50
Okay.
because there's more of them than 2-foot centers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
We got that out of the way.
Uh-huh.
Now, let's do an alternate way to figure it. Okay. We're going to break it down into inches because we have to get our common denominator of increment, a measurement type. Instead of feet, let's do inches. So all we're going to do is we're going to take 100 feet and we're going to multiply it by how many inches in a foot is 12.
Yeah. 1200.
Okay. I got 1,200 now. I have 1,200 inches perimeter, and all I got to do is divide that by 16. Boom, 75. And if you think about it, the math don't lie. Okay. Okay, so there's two ways. You can, to get 16, and I use this in figuring concrete block all the time because concrete blocks are 16 inches long. And there's a lot of figuring in concrete block. You're going to do a basement wall. Let's just really fast, for example, say this is a block wall. We don't want to do studs. We want to do blocks. How many blocks does it take? Well, let's say, forget the garage door. We're just going to make a solid wall all the way around. Well, that's really easy. You just take your 100 feet times 0.75. It gives us 75 blocks per course.
Right.
Okay. And how many courses? Well, how many courses do you need? Let's say you want it to be 10 feet tall.
They're 8-inch block, right?
Yep. That's
8
right.
inch tall.
They're 8 inches tall. So 10 feet, how many courses does it take to get 10 feet? It's going to be an odd number. It won't work out even. But if you go 10 feet times 12 inches, you can break it down in inches. That's 120 inches. Divide that by 8. Oh, it is 15 courses. It does equal out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It takes 15 courses times 75 blocks per course. You get 1,125 blocks. Okay, it's that simple.
Yep.
Most of the calculations for material, it
You're gonna want
almost is that simple.
You're gonna want to get that delivered.
Yeah, you don't want to go pick up. You're going to make 1,100 trips in your Honda Civic.
Element.
Yeah, your Element, your Accord, or Miata.
Oh yeah, Miatas.
Yeah, they're in town today.
Now with that, yeah, I mean you're just converting it down to the math down to the right measurement as far as what you need it to be in, and then just dial your numbers in.
That's right. It makes me think of chemistry when I was in high school.
Okay.
Chemistry is a lot of math, and I didn't like chemistry, but I was good at math. And so simply because I was good at math, I could figure out all these equations or whatever it was. I don't even remember what it was, but I could do chemistry work, it seemed, at least high school. We're talking, freshman, sophomore level chemistry.
Like Peter Julius style chemistry?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I was a rock star at that because it was just like conversions. And believe it or not, most of my class, they were hung up on this conversion thing. Even the word conversion. Like the teacher was trying to say, you're just converting. It's a conversion. They couldn't grasp the idea that you have a set of numbers that you need to interact with each other, but they're incompatible because they're apples and oranges.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
you got frozen turkeys and apples and oranges.
Your brain's like ready
Joe
to explode.
Livingston used to always say you can't compare apples and oranges, but he also used to say it's like comparing cats to like dogs playing trombones or something like that. Okay. I don't know. He always had some weird off the wall like thing besides apples and oranges.
Okay. And I don't know why it's apples and oranges. That has always bothered me. They don't got nothing to do with nothing. And who ever wanted to compare the apples and oranges to each other?
I don't know.
Fruits. They're just a different color. They're like the same. They look the same. They're the same size. Well, this example, this is the classic.
A tomato is a fruit, but you'd never put it in a fruit salad.
Well, that's true.
Sorry, didn't mean to just
I got no comeback to that.
Yeah.
Other than you're right.
Well, with material calculation. I know we could go on for a long time on this because we talked, a little bit, just a little bit about this with the garage because we didn't even get to interior or exterior sheathing, all that stuff.
But do we have time for one more?
Yeah, no, I just
on the garage. What do you want to do? You tell me.
Well, I mean, what's the next most important thing that you would not want to screw up?
Ooh. Well, we'd have to rewind to the beginning to talk about the flatness and the overall
of the site.
The actual foundation itself. Either the foundation or the slab, whichever was it is the same thing, but to make sure that your starting point that slab is flat and level and square and the dimensions are correct. Mm-hmm. Those are all absolute critical things. They could be off by a little. We're talking like a quarter, an eighth. That's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to make any change. But let's just say your slab is out of flatness and it's 2 inches higher on one side than the other side by accident. Whoops. Or let's just say that you did that on purpose because there is a code sometimes enforced that your slab is supposed to be sloped towards the garage door so that liquids like maybe gasoline or something or ice melt, snow melt would run out. But it's not going to run out. It's not because it will not travel on that much little amount of slope. Don't get me started on this, Ben. This is
especially if it's unfinished concrete, like it's gonna absorb before it gets to the door.
It's not gonna. And you know what's at the bottom of that door? A giant rubber gasket that prevents any liquid from passing.
Not if it's open.
I don't leave mine open.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. I was like, what?
I do. I leave all the doors open.
It might run out if it's epoxied.
I'm
just kidding, Jamie.
It probably would not.
It would give you a place to sweep it to with a squeegee.
I want to know what does this actually work? Say 2 inches. And the reason
the slope.
The reason it's all why I have questions about it is because like it's in the building code, it's mentioned, but there's no definition of a particular slope or a particular amount of fall in a certain distance, like you would have for plumbing, like for your drain lines in your plumbing. There's a minimum, maybe a maximum too. I don't know. Well, anyway, I don't know.
There is a maximum.
I don't know anything about plumbing, but there's an ideal slope for water to flow through your drain pipes. Like, I don't know, it's 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch of drop per foot or something like that. I don't know. That may not be right, but you get the idea. Well, for the garage floor slope thing, it is not highly defined. So it's somewhat subjective. And so it's sort of, what do you think about it? But what does your building inspector think about it? And it's going to be poured in concrete. So make sure if you don't want it to be sloped, like my slab in my garage at home is flat. Like it's not sloped. Okay. It's never been a problem. Mm-hmm. But like if I'm going to change the oil in my car or I'm going to put my car in neutral and just have it sit there, I will want it on. And I do that. I see the funny look you're giving me. Who doesn't do that?
Just put their car in neutral and just let it sit there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See?
I feel like a lot of people may not do that, but...
Okay. Well, it's pretty important to me.
Why?
And it doesn't go anywhere because it's flat. Well, I'll tell you... I'll tell you why. Like, in my shop, like where the metalworking tools are, we just call it the shop. We do a lot of wood finishing and stuff in there. Like, I park my Jeep in there. And I also have other stuff I store in there. So the Jeep is really small and light, and it's a stick shift vehicle, and I have just barely enough room to fit it in there. Okay. I pull it in, I put it in neutral, I get out.
Right.
And it stays there. It doesn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. But when I need to move it forward or backwards, I just grab the tire and I spin the tire and just push it. I just move that thing. I don't start it or anything. I just move it around, forwards or backwards. Yeah. And sometimes... this is pretty fun and funny, I think, actually. Sometimes I'll open the garage door. There's the Jeep. It's in my way. I've got room out in the parking area where you would drive into the garage. And if there's nothing in the way, I'll just grab the tire or I'll just push it. And I'll just push it out the door. And it'll roll out there and stop eventually. It goes flat and then it goes uphill. It can't roll away.
Well, that's a short.
So
Yeah, we'll get it.
I just roll it out. So, but anyway, that's why I need my floors to be flat.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you're going to build something too? Like, I mean, I don't always build stuff on the garage floor, but now we have to. This is why we're supposed to be talking about something important, but truly, this is
about what's important to you.
We're never going to get to the stuff that we're going to talk about. Yeah, the whole deck thing.
You should have never mentioned the deck.
Well, I did.
Now we're going to have a whole episode on how to build a deck, and here's what it cost.
Well, that's going to be in between when Max wakes up and
during Max's snooze.
Yes, I think we'll do that.
Okay,
we'll do that separate. We'll do it. We're going to say we're going to take this and we're going to do a bonus, another episode after this. It's the build your own deck and how to calculate material. And then we're going to follow it with questions.
Okay. I hope, Ben, I hope you hit record on this episode because I think it's going great.
Yeah, we're an hour and 25 minutes.
Okay. Let me share a story. It's going to be story time. Okay. This whole slope on the garage slab thing, ever since you brought this up, I think I brought it up, but we'll just say you brought it up.
Okay.
Now you got me all ticked off about it. Now I got a story.
Okay.
And I'll just say again, the idea is that some places require you to have slope on your garage floor if you're going to park a vehicle there. So maybe gasoline might run out the door somewhere. I don't know. Okay, you figured that out. But I have a guy that I built him a house years ago when I first got my contractor's license.
Okay.
It was like literally one of the first houses I built. My dad was basically acting as the contractor because I was 18 years old. And, I didn't have the experience to really do what I was doing, but my dad was there and I was, we were doing it together. Built him a nice house. He called later, wanted a garage. We didn't have time to build a garage. He hired out somebody else. They put a slope on the slab. So I don't know if he did it or who did it or whatever. They had a crew that came in, did the concrete. They got a nice 2-inch slope on, so 24 feet. Within 24 feet, it sloped 2 inches. And then the concrete guy left and never came back. Well, he called in a framing crew. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You can probably see where this is going. A 2-inch slope in 24 feet is imperceivable as far as appearance, unless you have a real keen eye and you're expecting that it should or shouldn't be sloped, and you're going to find out.
A laser eye.
There you go. Well, guess what? The frame contractor built all the walls the same height because he didn't know it was sloped, and he built the floor on it above it. It had I think it had like an apartment, like upstairs, maybe a bonus room, maybe nothing highly, finished or anything. And then they got to putting the windows in, and then they got to putting the siding on. And the siding is the product that revealed that it was crooked because all the boards had like a little edge, like a little tapered. What is going on? And they got to figuring it out. What is going on? The whole stupid thing was built at an angle because the base of it was attached to, a slope
slab. Yeah.
God.
So that's a problem. Don't do that. That's my story. That happened. The whole story
is still standing?
Is still there, I'm sure, yeah.
Sloped?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Crooked, everything, I'm sure. I don't think they didn't tear it down.
Wow.
They did not tear it down and rebuild it. So anyway, so beware homeowners too. Like, you say, oh, well, hire an expert. If you don't want to do it yourself, you don't know, hire an expert. And then your expert builds it crooked as it could be. And it's permanent and nobody's going to come and fix it for you. So that's it. That's the story. I mean, that's the end of that story. So I had to
You don't think the homeowner could have demanded that they redo it? I mean,
it depends on to say who's at fault and,
for not saying that the slab was sloped.
Yeah. Who's at fault? You didn't tell me the slab was, well, you didn't ask, You didn't ask me if the slab was sloped.
Yeah.
Why I don't tell you things that you don't ask me, I don't know.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're building a garage, you would build a foundation and the slab would be separate. That's the only way to not have that happen.
There's 2 ways in my mind, just right off the cuff that I'm thinking of. The garage that I built for myself, both my garage that's attached to my house and my garage that we call the shop, we poured footings traditionally, like dig footings, pour footings, and then I laid block on the footings. Mm-hmm. And the block comes up above the...
Where did that come from?
Extra emphasis on above.
Yeah.
Not the same level as the slab. The block walls, the foundation Okay, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Just hang with me.
Uh-huh.
They come above the slab by about 2 courses of block.
Okay.
And the purpose of that is so that your siding and your framing doesn't go down close to the dirt level. So you could frame directly on a slab that's only, 6 inches above the ground. But I prefer, if given the opportunity, to have the slab not be what I frame onto, if I can. There's times when I may or may not. Like this next house is designed to have the framing straight down to the slab, no stem wall or no extension of the concrete. Okay, the whole point of that is the whole perimeter of my block work is flat. You could slope the slab however you like, and it would have no effect on what the wall framing is going to do. There's no interaction between the slope and the wall framing. Mm-hmm. In the case of the one that got messed up, it was probably a monolithic slab, or the slab capped off the top surface of all the whatever's below it. And it was on a hillside, so it's kind of like a partial basement thing that was capped off with a slab. It was all filled in. It wasn't hollow. So my recommendation is be sure that the perimeter is flat, or you have to cut every stud to the length to accommodate the slope, which is painstaking and terrible to do. Even for me and my guys that were, I think, good at that kind of thing, it's not fun. No fun. To build a wall that's pitched, only 2 inches, no fun. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's all I got. Yeah. That's all I can say about that.
We'll try to, we'll get a video of you inside your garage because you can show that, because you did build them the same.
Yes.
So you obviously do have a preferred way to do it.
I do. When it comes to me,
you've done it twice on your own property.
I can do what I like, and that's what I like, and I think it's good.
Yeah. Now, not that I want you to go into detail, but just to wrap up sort of this, this idea of material calculations, big ones, don't mess it up. Are there ones we need to talk about further in another episode sometime that are really just like, you really don't want to screw this up?
Okay, let's do. I'm going to say it depends on what is the consequence of screwing it up. Is it that you have extra material, maybe, and that's no big deal if you can return it. But what if you can't, and it's custom or special ordered? Then you are stuck with it. So the end of what is the worst consequence is, let's say 2 things. Let's make 2 opposite things.
Okay.
The first thing we're going to do is, what if you didn't get enough and you got a product that was on sale that there's no more of? It's a clearance sale item.
Like flooring or tile.
You bought some tile and you already stuck it down. You realized I need 5 more tiles, and you bought all they had on clearance, and they don't make this tile now.
Right.
You are in a pickle. And I don't know how to get out of a pickle. You'll have to figure that out yourself. Let's go the other extreme. Let's just say that you special ordered that tile and you ordered 100 square feet too much, and it was really expensive, and they don't accept returns. Then you are going to eat the cost of it.
Right.
So if you're okay with that, that's just fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, So my approach is either, if it's available but special order or whatever, you can get exactly what you need if you have time on your side. And then if exactly what you need turns out to be 5 boards short or 5 tiles short, and you can obtain those missing ones easily, then great. Just go get however much you're missing, finish it off. But yeah, it's really bad when it's a special order. You can't get more. You can't return it. Things like that make it a bad scenario for you.
Yeah. So it relays into that measure twice, cut once. It's like calculate 2 or 3 times.
Yep.
Buy it once.
Get a little bit extra. That's it. So that's the worst case for those kinds of things. Concrete is a whole different animal where there's real consequences.
Immediate consequences.
Yeah, bad consequences in concrete. That's probably the most stressful and the most got to get it right thing. All the rest of the stuff, can come and go. I think less of a big deal.
Right.
The whole set in stone thing, people say, is it set in stone? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that.
Right. Yeah.
So, you don't really want to order extra custom trusses by accident, because then you got nothing.
No, you
got
don't.
Nothing.
And don't cut your trusses either, by the way. They don't like that.
Yeah. No, they do not. And don't let somebody else cut your trusses, like a plumber or an electrician or an HVAC guy.
Nope. They should know better, but that doesn't always stop them. Well, I'm going to, stretch out a little bit here. I've been sitting here a while, and I appreciate everybody listening. And we're going to wrap this one up right now. This has been really fun. I don't know. For me, I don't know if it was good for you or not, but I enjoyed it. This is the kind of stuff that I like talking about with construction. That is, it's a little bit in the weeds, a little bit nerdy, but it's all the necessary considerations in a lot of different ways for a lot of different aspects of building. So anyway, that's great. I appreciate everybody being with us, sticking it out, and be curious. And if you don't know, just ask.
All right. We'll see you later. And yeah, tune in for that deck example.
Deck. Yeah. How much does a deck cost and how many boards does it take? Coming soon.